Two of the biggest hazards associated with shorelines are erosion and flooding. One impacts more structures built near the beach, and one has more of a concern as far as potential loss of life. Let's start with shoreline erosion. Of course, waves are constantly going to pound any shoreline. If something like this, if a sea stack out in the ocean, part of a former headland, it's going to be subjected to a lot of wave energy. This is the Tillamook Lighthouse and offshore Oregon, and of course it just gets pummeled by waves as time goes on. But any place where we have a shoreline, there's potential for erosion, and in this case we're seeing erosion of this marine terrace, where a lot of building has gone on up on the terrace, and now these places that are on the terrace are in danger of having their foundation and the structures themselves eroded away, and at a large loss of property. And of course, it's probably not a good idea to build in this area of erosion in the first place. It seems like part of the solution here is to build up higher on the hills in the back there, which could be potentially safer, but at least further away from the shoreline, but could face other hazards as well. Even areas famous for their beaches have issues with their sand just being moved away by longshore currents and beach drift. This is Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, Hawaii. People come from all over the world to go to Waikiki, and we can see here that a lot of sand in these areas has been removed by natural forces as the sand moves around through these processes of beach drift and longshore current. The shoreline around Honolulu is highly modified, lots of structures being put in, lots of competing interests, and the solution at this beach is essentially beach nourishment, where sand is brought in from other places and pumped onto the beach, so that they're essentially bringing in new sand that of course is going to be moved around in the future, but is at least a short-term solution to this sort of removal of sand from beaches. So beach nourishment is it tends to happen in places that can afford to bring in a lot of sand, like this beach in Honolulu, or other beaches like Atlantic City, New Jersey, and places like that, where people really go because they expect the beach experience when they travel there and spend a lot of money for hotels there. But beach nourishment is only a short-term solution. It's not really addressing the problem of why sand is being moved away from this area by erosion.